trying to find my way, find my way, find my. When you shine, they try to find shade, try to find shade, try to find. Be yourself and do your thing, do your thing, do your thing. Show the world what you will bring, you will bring.
What's the word, everyone? It's your host, Joe Rillis, and my co host, Mario, and we want to welcome you to the very first episode of Let's List 'em. Let's List 'em is a show that counts down a list of topics according to a fun and specific category. We're going to count down interesting categories that help people, like why are my damn kids so bad, and historical events and figures that played a big role in the life we live today. So before I throw all that like and subscribe shit at you, I want you all to know one of my first 500 Instagram followers will win a free $150 StockX gift card, and one of my first 500 YouTube subscribers will win a free $150 Visa card. So do not miss out on that. So today's topic on Let's List 'em is a good one. 5 people in history that deserves an ass whooping. We all know those individuals we've heard about, whether it being in TV or books or whatever, and we just wish that person got their ass whooped in their time period, you know? So let's get into it. Number 5, Ron Wayne. So let's rewind back to 1976. I want you to meet a man named Ron Wayne. Ron Wayne is in his 40s and is looking to invest some money. Over time, Ron would meet 2 young sharp dudes by the name of Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs. You see, Jobs and Wozniak were both mechanical engineers that started a company, but they needed more supervision, documentation help, and funding low-key. So they pitched their business plan to Ron Wayne, and he agreed. The business plan entailed that Ron would get 10% of the company, while Jobs and Wozniak would keep 45% because they were doing all the work. And after only 12 days of being in business with them, Ron Wayne decided to remove his name from the contract and sell his stake for a funky ass $800. A mistake that would cement his name as one of the worst businessmen in history. So what company did Ron Wayne give up 10% of? I'll give you a hint. You're probably holding one of their products right now. You see, the man gave up 10% of the world's richest company, Apple. At the time of this recording, Apple has a crazy ass $2 trillion valuation. So you probably like, so what, Joe Willis? What the fuck? Bad business deals happen every day. Get this man a break. But it's what he did next that earned him a spot on this ass whooping countdown. So fast forward to the year 1994. Apple was attempting to set a standard in the tech industry by making their software exclusive to its own products, something that was very risky in the dawn of the computer and internet age. Apple's future looked bleak compared to rivals like Microsoft and Netscape, so Ron once again didn't believe in his former business partners and decided to sell the original contract that him, Jobs, and Wozniak all drew up. The contract held no value since he sold all his shares, but it was an original document to the hot new company in the tech world. Somebody had to want it. And that somebody was Wade Sabi, who bought the contract for a few $1,000s. And in 2011, sold it for $1.59 million. Ron has given up an estimated about $80 billion and counting. And he still got the nerve to do interviews like this.
Exactly what would have been if I'd have stayed with the company. I would have wound up heading a very large documentation department at the back of the building.
For $80 billion though, Ron, come on, you tripping. So if you like the way this is going so far, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. Me and Mario would definitely appreciate it. Now back to the countdown. Number 4, Thomas Jefferson. Good old Thomas Jefferson, Mr. Founding Father, Mr. Declaration of Independence himself. As Americans, the moment we pop out of our moms, we are told how great and smart the Founding Fathers were. But the education system leaves out quite a bit, like how the Founding Fathers were men, and men make terrible mistakes and have secrets. One of Thomas Jefferson's secrets was his secret black family. See, the Jefferson family were slave owners, and like many of these terrible motherfuckers of this era, Thomas Jefferson had relations with his enslaved African Americans. Ass whooping evidence number one, Your Honor. One of the females he held captive and had relations with went by the name Sally Hemings. Sally Hemings was a young female between the ages of 16 and 19 that was believed by many historians to be one of Thomas's mistresses. One day, Thomas Jefferson did something that few slave owners did in the early America, and that was to take his enslaved people overseas. Why not, you may ask? Well, it was simple. Their ass might run, like I would, primarily due to the fact that other countries did not have slave laws or slavery was illegal altogether. But Thomas Jefferson trusted Sally Hemings a lot and decided to take her to Paris. At such a young age, Sally Hemings knew she had to make haste of the situation. She made a decision that would free her family from bondage forever. That decision was to make a proposal with Thomas. She said she would only return to America with him if her unborn children were released when she died. And Thomas Jefferson's terrible ass agreed. Ass whooping evidence number two, Your Honor. Jefferson also kept his word. When Sally Hemings passed away, her family were released. Today, there's a family of people that have the blood of an American president and an African American slave running through their veins. Like Jefferson's six-time great-grandson, Shannon Lanier, who could be seen here in a CBS interview.
Thomas Jefferson is my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. And the teacher said, sit down and stop telling lies.
Number 3, the Proud Boys. So I think we all can remember the shit show of a presidential election America had in 2020.
The foreign countries are paying you a lot.
I don't make money from China. You do.
The lie fest between candidates Joe Biden and Donald Trump that resulted in Joe Biden becoming the 46th president of the United States. If you can remember that, then you can surely remember the hostile takeover of the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. The day when many angered Americans stormed the Capitol in Washington, D.C. because they felt the 2020 election was stolen from the former president, Donald Trump. Well, authorities believe that this shitty day was organized by a group called the Proud Boys. Take a look at this picture taken from that day. And as you can see, there are several men wearing a sort of yellowish uniform standing throughout the crowd. Those are the colors of the Proud Boys. This radical group, which has just recently been classified as a terrorist group in Canada, has strong ties to racist and religious terror groups. So yeah, all races are pieces of shit, obviously, and deserves an ass whooping. But these pieces of trash deserves a little extra smackdown for one reason. You see, if you go Google leader of the Proud Boys, a man by the name of Enrique Tarrio's name will pop up. Now this shit here is some of the most irresponsible racism I've ever seen. This is like the Ku Klux Klan making Kevin Garnett the leader of their fucking organization. And this is like the Bloods naming the Blue M&M. Like, what the fuck is y'all doing? So being an irresponsible racist has earned the Proud Boys a spot on this ass whooping countdown. Number 2, Bill Cosby. Don't you just want to smack that damn face? He is the only person in the world that you think of the word jolly instead of happy when you see him. But anyways, now this motherfucker deserves the biggest ass whooping. Rightfully so, due to his obvious 60 sexual assault crimes. To go along with being a womanizer, Bill Cosby tried to derail his own iconic TV show, The Cosby Show. The show that inspired millions and put black families in a positive light. Unlike a lot of TV shows of this era that depicted blacks more as criminals and hoodlums rather than doctors or lawyers. So why would Bill try to derail his own show? According to former TV executives that ran the show, Bill is on record telling them that he wanted the show focus more on his comedy, not family values and all that good shit. Instead of being happy to give his people a positive role model, Bill Cosby wanted the show to depict him as a taxi driver instead of a doctor, so he could be on camera alone, without anybody else to tell all his cornball ass jokes. Another piece of evidence that landed Bill Cosby on this list is his point of finger kind of attitude he has towards the black community. For example, his acceptance speech at a 2004 NAACP event where Bill said, I quote, "People getting shot in the back of the head over a piece of pound cake, then we all run out and are outraged saying the cops shouldn't have shot him. What the hell was he doing with the pound cake in his hand?" Who the hell is stealing pound cake? And why would you say something like that? Today, Bill Cosby is serving a 3 to 10 year sentence at the Collegeville State Penitentiary in Pennsylvania, after being convicted for only 3 out of the 60+ sexual assault allegations held up against him. Before being deemed a devil, Bill Cosby received many awards and accolades throughout his life, like the 2002 U.S. Presidential Medal of Freedom. Cosby also was the first African American to receive an Emmy as a leading actor for the movie I Spy. The father figure role he portrayed to the public, his amount of awards, and the impressions Bill left on the entertainment industry easily makes his life one of the worst rise and falls for a celebrity in history. Number 1, Samuel Little. Here's a name that might not sound familiar to you, Samuel Little. He was a prisoner that was incarcerated in a Northern California prison. I say was because as of late of December 2020, Samuel Little has passed away. I don't wish death on anyone, but he deserved this. Because Samuel Little is America's worst serial killer. Samuel Little has killed more people than some of the more infamous serial killers have killed combined. John Wayne Gacy killed 33 people. Jeffrey Dahmer killed 17, and Samuel Little killed a staggering 96 women. So how does a person turn into such a vile human being? According to the interview Little conducted with law enforcement, he claims to be from a broken home where his mom worked as a prostitute. And after leaving home, he traveled the country in the 70s and 80s living a shitty street life. The man was a certified bum. During Samuel's time of living on the streets of Mississippi, California, Nevada, and Texas, Samuel decided to target and kill young minority sex workers and runaways. But why is a question law enforcement has been left with after his death. The how is a simpler answer. Samuel Little got away with so many crimes because he targeted defenseless women that were usually outcasted by society, which is sad as hell and makes him deserving of much more than an ass whooping. In September 2014, Samuel Little's lifestyle caught up to him when he was convicted of 3 counts of murder and sentenced to life without parole in a California prison. Being old in age and not having anything to lose, Sam decided he would confess to all his murders. And according to the FBI in 2018, a Texas Ranger visited Samuel and he let it all out. He told the Ranger he had been traveling the country for over the past 3 decades and killed women from coast to coast. When the FBI verified Samuel's allegations, they realized he was linked to over 100 murders and sexual assaults from the present and decades past. Authorities realized quickly they were dealing with America's worst serial killer. Samuel Little was Mr. Kill Somebody with 96 women, but when he was surrounded by men throughout his prison sentence, he was all closed lips and his killing urge just went away. A true coward and person that deserves that ass beat, blown up, shot, and due to the fact that he targeted defenseless women. Here is a clip of his confession that he gave to the FBI.
It was like dirt. The grass was growing in the middle between 2 tracks. When I left her up in that little road up there, on the side of that little road, she was like partially concealed by the vegetation. I left her there.
So hope you enjoyed the first episode of Let's List Them. Here is all my social media contact. Say what up, ask a question, maybe request an episode for me to complete. This has been your host, Joe Rillis and Mario, and we thank you for watching. Hit that like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. And remember, be cool, be calm, and be there for somebody. We out.